Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. It's time for you to get up. It's three. It's like literally about 3:16. Okay, it's part two, Mr. Elon Musk. November the 13th, 2023. Okay, and I'm gonna ask Imani a few questions real quick. Imani, do you know anyone personally here? He got to get up. Wait a minute, let me not embarrass him.
No.
In Annapolis, Maryland.
No.
Do you reject the telepathic code?
Yes.
I do too. I don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland, and nor have I implied. And excuse me, I moving the camera around now. I look a little different, but no, haven't implied I want to know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. So reject the telepathic code. Don't know anyone personally here. Have you implied you want to date anyone in Annapolis, Maryland, African American, those that speak
No.
Spanish, pale skin? Neither have I. We don't know anyone personally here as naturalized Moors who affirm to uphold laws of freedom, which so in that that is connected to the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787. So, and all, and as more as we say, all four of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, including the 13th Amendment in 20 sections. So, okay, money is going on 3:20. Time for you to get up, or probably 3:25. So, that's, and once again, Money Gray Bay. That's my son. I don't know if you can see. I just don't want to embarrass him with him. He was so he works. I work at Burger King. He works at Wendy's. So, now let me fix this again. Okay. So anyway, okay, so that this is part two. So finishing. So once again, I didn't know I just still didn't I was still having, what's the word, challenges using the word spirit and articulating my thoughts in reference to spirituality. Oh, this is getting back to my thoughts. So I found it so interesting when I started to study literature about being a Moor and what it is to be a Moor and the history of Moors. I one of my family members actually knew about the word Moor, but she focused on Spain, Moors in Spain. I was like, no, Moor, we here, we Moors here, you know, not Spain. We here, we here too, we here, we we on this landmass. You Moor, I'm a Moor, you know. But anyway, she so the moving forward with that. So anyway, and anyway, just that's another story. So um okay, so now I'm gonna get back on track with thoughts. Um so the word spirituality and spirit. So when I came to well, getting back when I learned about you. Okay. So when I learned about you, this was in 2021, approximately, definitely. Also on my conscience change, money and financial wealth, it was just not a priority for me. Um, I noticed I didn't realize so many thoughts and emotions can be planted to cause you to be stressed out about different forms, if you are forms of debt or encouraged debt, or what that was in that world, within a world considered debt. Okay, and that's just how I see it in the spirit of truth, because in the spirit of truth, in reference to spirituality, there's really not a such thing as debt. It's just like making, to me, these are thoughts, learning the history of money and paper money and how value was placed on paper, you know. So but but through different forms of science and religion and spirituality, um, then these acts of energy can manifest to exist and create a world. That's what I've learned. I'm learning. And so there was definitely I see now through the years definitely a lot of manipulation in reference to me, what I experienced, and even after when my consciousness changed. But when my consciousness changed, so many things I was experiencing. um Imani, you gotta meditate. You're not up. Okay, so many things I was experiencing um that didn't seem um it was not in how I thought before, especially in reference to money. Okay, what I'm trying to do is make sure I stay focused on my thoughts and finance. It wasn't that if someone was to say, "Here, take this million of dollars," I would not take it if it was in correlation to the highest self and the high frequency of my highest self and their highest self, or however, long as there's a foundation of the divine highest self connected. That's how I see, because then the foundation is strong in reference to obtaining or experiencing what we call money now. It has to, in my thought process, there has to be a foundation of, I say, use the word righteousness, a foundation of the highest self being involved in creating money or harmonizing with money or different forms of what um, a world has created and called money. It has to be through the divine highest self. This is what I've learned, and this is what really seemed true to me. So, but when my consciousness changed, I just, for example, clothes was not important. Um, um, Money, it was. I mean, I had to maintain, sustain, but it just wasn't that much. Like it wasn't. I don't know. It's just like, for example, it's implied that Sheikh Noe Bafubé is a wealthy Moor. I didn't, I was more about, I was more concerned with love and what I was experiencing for the first time. So, that the wealthy part was not like um on the front page. It gradually, these thoughts were, I experienced that he possibly could have money. When I came to Maryland, that's when I was like, yeah, possibly he really do. But anyway, and I came to Maryland or Annapolis around the last week of May of 2016, and I've been here at formerly Extended Stay, now Admiral Suites, since August of 2016. So anyway, let me get to the point. So it's not that I don't like money. It's not that. Definitely, it's not that. It's just because, and it's not like that, I don't, but because then that too might put an energy. It's more for me learning how to harmonize, create this energy of money with the foundation of the divine higher self. So many people have money, I've learned, or so many, to a lot of, for me it's a lot, that might be considered rich, um, but are not wealthy. I think wealth comes from um, knowing the divine highest self, and if in implementing covenants of the divine highest self, which is a high frequency of integrity, morality, a high frequency of thought, And in that is a high frequency of freedom. And or in as a Moor, we have a flag that has a green 5-pointed green star in the middle that represents love, true peace, freedom, and justice. To me, that's wealth, because I think when you're able to learn yourself and implement that higher frequency of your divine higher self, you, even if on a physical plane you might not have a what those that might consider what is rich, but you are wealthy here and here, internal, spiritual, mental, then that's priceless. So there are a lot of quite a few people that are rich. I mean, they rich through a lot of doing a lot of really really wicked deeds. A lot of wicked deeds. They doing a lot, and they rich. I mean, they if on the physical plane, in a realm, whatever in this in the world that's unclean and that is a cesspool of unclean spirits that promote bondage, saying they promote bondage, paid, rape, molestation. To them, they it's like they have it all, but to me, they don't. They don't have it all. It's temporarily. It will pass, and it will not exist. Where wealth will always exist. It'll carry on and carry on and carry on, and those are my thoughts. And that seemed to be true to me, and it is true for me. That's truth. That's a high frequency of truth. Now, to everyone, it might not be, because they've because you see many wicked people have generations of wealth. I mean, generations of richness, being rich. But how long? I mean, time. Some people think 1,000 years is a long time. I don't think 1,000 years is a long time. 2,000 years is not a long time. 3,000 years is not a long time. 4,000 years, but some think that. Okay, so that's just this is what rings true to me, Mr. Elon Musk. So how I came across you, get it? Then back to spirituality. I don't know. Possibly, because I was dealing. Once again, since I've been in Annapolis, this is when I decided to really, be able to learn spirituality more and use the word spirit and implement in being a practitioner of spirituality and truth, as because it helps me stay balanced, especially dealing with those that have bodies that look to be African American, Black, Negro. This is just a description, pale skin description. Those that speak Spanish from Mexico, South Central America. Those that are connected to the United States Navy and the Army, um, and the police that definitely behave, and people, and those that have lawful minds would say that have a spiritual eye is say they are terrorists, they are abusers, they are rapists, and they are molesters. And so, and in that, they're probably murderers as well. Islam. Excuse me. That's what we say as Moors. So, because all that energy is connected. It's sort of like a connection of dots. So if you were rape, if you were molest, and if you know how to use the science of mentalism, you definitely will kill and murder unjustly. You will definitely harm organs, whatever. So that's just the connection of dots. And so these I started to experience more mentalism of that sort from those that implied to be connected or looked definitely to be in what I just spoke of, that list in Annapolis, Maryland. And a large amount were in the bodies of African American, Black, Negro, that status, unless they claim a nationality. And I was surprised, very surprised, because I grew up around. I myself was considered African American all my life until I changed my and reclaimed my nationality. So I grew up around those that said they were African American Black all my life. I'm the only one in my family that I know of, Imani Gray Bay too, who reclaimed their nationality. So a large amount, definitely African American, Black, Negro, and then the next would be those that speak Spanish. Which I mean, I was like, gosh, I see a lot of those that speak Spanish here in Annapolis, but it's like, through the years I would come across like no big deal, but they were so engaging. It's like, why are they engaging? I'm learning Spanish. I know very very little Spanish. Why are they so engaging? And I'm having these experiences, mentalism. Why are they so engaging? But once again, learning that we're among a lot of unclean spirits. Not all when I in that list, but way too many. A very unclean, a lot of unclean, unnatural spirits. And I learned about AI, robots, and other lab experiments that can be used on the physical plane to rape, molest, engage mentally, which in that murder, because all these are dots that are connected that circle around, cause harm. So rape, molestation, and murder, all that, that's all energy, all the same energy. Just because I haven't seen them murder, if they're able to cause dis-ease mentally through dis-ease internally with organs, then they definitely, and they're doing it unjustly, definitely to murder, kill is no big thing. Okay, and then say we paid. Okay, I paid, so that all that's in that world of unclean, unnatural spirits, and that's dealing with those that could be considered to be rich, but they're not wealthy. So these are my thoughts as I have grown spiritually. So and reclaiming how to learn to be a practitioner of spirituality, Mr. Elon Musk. So okay, I know it's like I keep getting back. So I think possibly um, there was some type of energy that helped me from not seeking to even expense financially, because when this was in 2021, maybe late 2020, I want to say late 2020, 2021 is when I came across your name with Tesla. What caused me was that possibly, I'm not saying possibly, because there were thoughts of maybe Moors that are women, some would say witches, that are putting energy along, working alongside those that are unclean, unnatural, that are African American, Black, Negro in Annapolis, putting energy upon me to keep me from connecting and expanding wizards. These are, and so just because someone, I've learned to, in the spirit of truth, just because someone says they're more, it doesn't mean they're always righteous. I myself might not be always righteous. I'm trying to implement this with Imani, and we try our best, because we are. I definitely believe we are all on an individual journey, and we are. We must. I must stay accountable. Accountable not just for this lifetime, but the past lifetime. But I think the energy was, because the energy was possibly women or wizards and witches were putting energy upon me to because of the connection with Sheikh Dwayne Bey, to keep me from expanding financially, because something happened and that changed, and all of a sudden my thoughts changed in reference to finance. I actually was looking for different ways to grow financially, and it wasn't that um, and it was like a burst of energy, like there was some type of energy that was pulled off of me. Sheik Dwayne Bay and I, when you connect with an energy, I connect. You are definitely, and you are receptive. That's the thing. Receptive. I was receptive to Sheik Dwayne Bay, and he was receptive to me. So whatever energy he was experiencing with someone else, or I too could experience it, especially if the energy that he is engaging with other than me can have learned how to use and um him, which is a energy or could be used as a portal to send energy that could be unfavorable to me, possibly. But something definitely happened that caused me to all of a sudden I got this burst of energy out of nowhere to look for financial solutions. I literally, and I know that and if you're not in reference, I'm assuming you're a wizard, because once again it takes science, spirituality, I think, and definitely form of religion. To even have the thought process of Tesla. So Um, so I that's when I started to go into Robinhood and really start looking to stocks. I started, and that's when I came across you. That is exactly when I came across you, and didn't know who you were. I didn't know who, I just knew that electric cars. I was like, that is a great idea. I mean, one of the males are there were two males that I was learning from different stocks. I became a member for a year. I mean, I was writing notes, learning different parts of the car, electric cars, the batteries, and so forth. And I was like, and I even Tesla, definitely. I was like, gosh, I gotta get this Tesla stock, because I thought it was just a great, like one of the best ideas, especially in reference to the removing those on this landmass from dependency of oil, and gasoline. I was like, this is great, and I researched and saw that other companies were um were also planning to implement electric cars, Chevrolet, Toyota, Nissan. So, far as I know, I remember that. So I was like, that definitely will take the dependency of oil from foreign nations away from and so that would help. And I didn't, and because of the word Tesla, which was very interesting, because when my consciousness changed, I was studying. I definitely was looking into Tesla, but I didn't know about Tesla cars or anything like that. I just knew about the inventor Tesla and how he was very interested in Egypt, the pyramids. So and I was like very I interested in this inventor that they call Tesla. So this is in 2010, 2011. And so when I came across you, and I guess I'm gonna definitely 2021, but maybe very very late, like December in 2020, definitely 2021. And I said Tesla. I said, oh my goodness, it's just not a sign. So, and once again, I'm getting this burst of energy of trying to expand and grow financially. And so, and because of how the burst of energy came across, definitely, and I'm not accusing, I am not accusing uh, Sheet Away Buffalo Bay of allowing, but I'm saying that this is through science and through um, knowledge of what of a thread of what I've experienced, and me being having lack of experience of who I am, spirituality. I'm learning, but those that maybe did not want us to connect have it. They very grounded, or I mean not grounded, but no knowledgeable spirituality. Um, Possibly because of our connection could have used energy because of how, and I don't want to recall everything that that happened, but I just know there was some experience that happened, and all of a sudden it was like possibly definitely there was some type of um, disconnect between him and I, and all of a sudden the financial expansion of thoughts of me growing financially. I was just looking, and it just came about, and that's when I came across you. So excuse me. So that's it, and so now I'm at a point where not this. I guess that's not it. So now I'm at a point where in relearning spirituality and my awakening is um so I'm just I'm growing spiritually. I am definitely growing spiritually, but and it's not that I don't believe that I am Sheik Dwayne Baffour's wife. No, but I believe everything I'm doing right now is set in place, and I'm relearning how to be very careful with the steps I make, because I'm not making steps just for this day. I'm making steps for the future, and also remembering steps from the past. So, it was very important for me to communicate to you because you are the owner of Twitter, or X now. Why you might see what you see on the Twitter page, because if you listen to some of the recordings with National Grand Sheik Joe Bryant Bay, you would hear how and Sheik Dwayne Bafa Bay and I went back and forth for years. And and once again, he being my first spiritual and mental experience, um, I used to be in a mental growth, and those that I would consider elders used to say, "You don't divorce, you don't divorce." So, so and I believe that I knew him years and years and years and years. I mean, not 4 or 5 thousand years ago is nothing to me. I'm saying a long, long time. I'm thinking um, ages. This is a long time ago. I knew Sheik Dwayne Baffour, and but I know there's something different about these times now, Mr. Elon Musk. Something is very different about these times, and I am trying my best to stay connected to my divine higher self, regardless of the dis-ease and the spiritual experiences that are harmful that I may experience, that those with a spiritual eye can see, and they know that I speak truth. that I speak truth about the implementation of force engaging into your different body sheets, and possibly the United States military and Navy, Army, using this science to do such things and actually trying to normalize it. It's been done by unclean, unnatural spirits for a long time, causing people to make unhealthy choices and decisions, and inhabitants upon planet Earth in reference to their health, finances, their children, their family life, their family structure. Um, um, Keep them more disconnected from evolving or connected to the higher realm of the divinity of the divine higher self. These acts of force engaging in different body sheaths have been going on for a long time, over 100 years, over 200 years. And now the military, the United States military, and other entities know how to normalize it to those that are not able to free themselves mentally, as though and place rules of like as though that there's some form of um rule to it. So for over 200 years, 300 years, or 100 years, these acts of force engaging, causing people to what those that are priests and priestesses would say possession, demon possession, unclean spirit possession. They've been doing. They People have been afflicted with for so long. So now the United States military, Navy, Army, and other entities possibly have now been able to control the science, where you have those that are considered African American, Black, Negro in that status, those that speak Spanish from Mexico, South Central America, pale skin, and others. They could be from India or China, Japan, other, but unclean, extremely unclean spirit, normalizing the science of engaging through the body sheaths to attack the internal organs, to manipulate your dreams while you're sleeping, to um, cause your child to have an erection, cause an adult to have an erection, a man, to cause the woman to secrete secretions from her vagina while they're trying to be productive citizens or to feel some type of sexual emotion, and say they liked it, or using different forms of frequency through radio, TV, which I consider as our satellites and unclean spirits, or portal for unclean spirits, especially the satellite radios that exist to force engage, because we are among robots, AI, that are obviously created for such things. So to be in a time where this is happening through, and the implementation and agenda is to normalize these acts of harm, to normalize this attack on natural law, which natural law consists of freedom and sacred energy of justice and love and peace, and that higher divine self, that the earth vibrates naturally on a high frequency, the cosmic universe. These are attacks on that energy, on that realm, on that spirit, to normalize it. Because if we as inhabitants on planet Earth, through thoughts, accept the normalization of bondage, of this force engagement, it keeps the frequency low. And that which is unclean and unnatural, who's been feeding off and manifesting more horrific crimes continue to manifest and exist, whether it's cannibalism, eating babies, eating children, rape, molestation, unjust murder, ritualistic rape, ritualistic murder, um, ritualistic murder consists of ritualistic shootings, ritualistic wars. I could, as a spiritual practitioner, I see that many wars are ritualistic because you're dealing with bloodshed. And then when you realize the reason why the war happened, or they have documentation why it happened, and it's dealing with what that which is rich but not wealthy consider money, but more so they feeding off the energy of the bloodshed, and it's ritualistic because many die. Many men and women they die, or some would say lab experiments, some, or whatever else that may exist that they use to put that energy of bloodshed, of bleeding blood out there. So that's where I'm at, Mr. Elon Musk. And I'm just telling you this to give you more insight of my thoughts and how I think and why. Um, you look at my page, you see Sheet Dwayne Buffalo Bay. And why, the reason why I was skeptical about, there's many reasons why I was, because through time, well, definitely because of AI and knowing that we are among AI and robots, why I was skeptical about even, at first I wasn't. I was like, Tesla, yeah, but then I started to connect the dots how because of my tablet being manipulated here in Annapolis, um, um, and being among those that hearing a lot of feedback in the room here at Admiral Suites now, formerly Extended Stay, as my tablet is being manipulated, hearing the refrigerator go back and forth, or the air conditioning seem to cut off on very oddly, and hearing feedback of African American male and female accents. Those that speak Spanish, definitely Spanish accent and Pelican, hearing them say three and Mason, Burger King, military, police, I paid, we paid, she love your son. I was like, well, if they are, and definitely I can tell that the weather was being manipulated here in Annapolis. I was like, something is very unnatural about the weather here. And now, with all the floods in different parts of planet Earth, different countries, cities, fires, volcanoes, and I'm not saying the volcano eruptions are included, but now there's talk of forms of military being using different sciences to cause floods and the unnatural behavior of the weather. And so um, I've been out and heard like something like a robot or some type of energy when it's storming here in Annapolis with the lightning. And it's just the same with the tablet. The tablet freezes up here at accents. And then hearing them say, we paid and I paid. So I was like, if they are using these robots, humanoid robots, or creation of lab experiments and they're able to do certain things. When I say they, I'm saying the military, Navy, Army, and other entities. What can stop them from tapping in? And it seems like the connection is electronic devices, whether it's an air condition, they can break things, they can definitely dematerialize or use some form of frequency to move objects. What can stop them from um, manipulating electric cars? That the app, that or that science. That's one of the main. I was like, no way. Definitely. Well, I still think water powered cars is the best. That's it. If that ever gets patent, or if you ever think of doing something, I would say please do water powered cars. If you ever think of creating, maybe it'd be me. Who knows? But anyway, create water powered cars. But electric cars. that was one of the main reasons why I said no way. I said, I mean, Mr. Elon Musk, he has to know some of these robots. Too many of these robots are very um, um, malice, and they're being used to do some very harmful and have been used, whether it's murder, rape, molestation, for a long time. He has to know, because if they're bold to behave as they're behaving out in the open here in Annapolis, it's only because they've been allowed to do it for so long. If they are both, like, for instance, when I started to expand and wanted to know grow financially, cryptocurrency, I was learning about cryptocurrency and Dogecoin. Also, my tablet would freeze, so as I'm watching Doge, and literally I would hear a frequency in the room, and I didn't feel like I could send you some of the recordings of some of the frequency in the room saying, "Can we let us help you?" Like, freeze the tablet at the I think it was at 24 cents. And at the time, that was a good buy for Doge, because Doge had went up to like 70 cents, Dogecoin. So I have never implied that I would want to some form of deceit that way in reference to Doge. So what would make them think that I would accept some form of help in that way? Okay. But if you have used different forms of tactics like this before to help those that you think is in need, and that, whether it's with their credit, financially, whatever, or doing some trade off. Remember, they keep saying I paid. My dreams being manipulated. I have felt my genitals. Like, for instance, tonight I experienced that, but I was doing prayers before I went to sleep, so I'm able to control my genitals as much as possible from any forced engagement. And when I woke up, I was hearing an accent, African American, black male and female accent, saying brother. Uh, she needs to be with a brother here in Admiral Suites, very close or in the room, male and female. She needs to be with a brother. She liked it. He effed her. I heard this too. So I started to hear that a lot here in Annapolis when I first came to Annapolis. A few months after I first came to Annapolis, like I said, we moved into the room, and my dream was manipulated. And it was manipulated where a African American male seemed to it started to be manipulated, was attacking my genitals, is trying to make my genitals have an orgasm, which that would be considered what happened. And I felt so embarrassed. But what was really shocking, because once again I was still learning about mentalism, being a spiritual practitioner, is that I would be out and African American male and females, predominantly females, would be looking at me or towards me and say, "He effed you," as though they once again normalize. So how would they know what I experienced? Or she got off, they would say she got off. How would they know what I experienced on a physical plane? And this is a city where the United States Navy, Army, military, police definitely is prevalent. So, being among a world of unclean spirits, we're connecting the dots. Because if they can normalize rape that they have been doing for a long time, molestation, they definitely can normalize murder if allowed. Normalize eating babies, cannibalism. I mean, they could put it under what they consider the religious clause and say this is our religious right to eat human flesh, and we prefer to eat babies if allowed. So these are attacks of I see upon natural law and the high frequency of the divine higher self, the very high frequency that some, maybe not all, I know I am. I realize there's something very sacred about not just me, but there's something very sacred about us. Um, certain Moors. Not all Moors. It's just like not all pale skins have a decalcified pineal gland. It's not true. It's just not true. I mean, I think some might want to say or imply that that are melanated because they're trying to grasp on the arrogance and ego. Um, we created the world, you know, but I, don't- I through spirit, being a practitioner of spirituality, and through that, there's truth. I'm able to see spirit more, and through spirit, I'm able to see truth. So in that, I don't look at the melanated and then the pale skin. Look at the pale skin as some savior. No, a pale skin that maybe has such as yourself light eyes and light skin doesn't mean that's your spirit and who you are, or that or that you are not, or that you might, or that you may be wicked, okay, or that you may be good because of your skin or who you are. I just don't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I see there's something science. There's a science of spirituality, a science of different realms of the mind, and that some have that different energies of the highest self that exist. And so that's why I'm able to look at those that perceive themselves or imply to be African American, Black, Negro now through the divine spirits of truth, or Moors, who are, which I am, who just because they claim to be a more educated, high frequency, high status doesn't mean they have the sacred energy of the divine highest self that I'm talking about, that is through purity, that they are able to attune to, or those from South Central America, Mexico, or India, Pakistan, China. And so that's where I'm at now. And I guess I need to stop because it's at 45 minutes. I'll upload and I send it to you. But I'm Ron the Arrington-Bey. My son is in Monty Great Bay. And I know I said a mouthful, but I guess I just wanted to really reintroduce, or actually I don't think I've reintroduced myself to you, because I was just like wondering. I mean, I was like, oh, this is um his name is Elon Musk, and and the reason why I thought it was interesting because my I was communicating a lot with my aunt in Georgia, and when I said your name, she was like, yeah, I know him. I mean, I know of him. You know, like it was. I was like, you know about Elon Musk? And she was like, yeah. You know, on the phone. I was like, ah, it's like she's like, yeah, he's the tell me about you, and I was like, gosh, I just found out about him. I don't know how long he's been. And then I was watching Doge go up and down, and there was like Elon Musk, when he tweets about Doge, it goes up, it seemed like, you know, or whatever, but I don't know how true that is. So, so anyway, that's it. I, so you know who I am. And introduce myself, Ron Arrington Bay.